My name is Stephanie Larsen, and today I'm going to discuss what makes Donald Trump a sane person, because most people are focusing on what makes him an insane person or a problem. And even in spite of many spiritual people's best efforts, they're not able to overcome feeling triggered by things Donald Trump says and does. So to be honest with you, I'm making this video because I have a lot less triggers with Donald Trump than a lot of people I've noticed. And part of the reason for that is because of my spiritual work, and another part of that is because I grew up around people a lot like Donald Trump, and so I had to adapt to that kind of environment as a young child. And I actually have turned out to be a happy person for the most part. So I'm going to tell you what I think is reasonable and expected and okay about Donald Trump from the perspective of what his spiritual gift is. And his spiritual gift is at the root chakra. So you may not know a lot about root chakra people, but I'm going to tell you today, and I'm going to use him as my example. I'm not going to be able to talk about everything he's done, and I can do that in a future video, but for right now I'm going to talk about a lot of the well-known things he's proposed. This isn't as much about specifics as it is about how he approaches life and how he approaches the world and how he approaches leadership. So he is a natural leader because his spiritual gift is at the root chakra, and roughly 1 in 7 people have a spiritual gift at their root chakra, maybe a little less. And that happens with both men and women, and it's totally normal and natural to be a leader. And you can be a great leader, you can be a dictator, you can be all sorts of different kinds of leader. However, no one can really take that part away from him. I'm a natural teacher, I'm a blue, my spiritual gift is at the throat chakra. It doesn't matter what kind of messes I go out there and make in the world, I'll still be a natural teacher. You can't take that away from me. I've been fired as a teacher before, I'm still a teacher. It doesn't matter because my soul was born on the blue ray, so I'm going to be working with those issues my entire life. And in like manner, Donald Trump is always going to be working on root chakra issues. There's nothing he can do about it. So some of the ways that I have seen him embrace his root chakra gift is by getting to the point. Now, root chakra people, they're not necessarily going to be the best communicators because they want people to focus on the issues and the bottom line. And if you think about it, when you're running a business, when you're trying to accomplish any goals that might be more difficult, you have to focus on results. So often when he talks about results. And some people don't like the way that he talks about results, but I want to detract your attention away from how he does it and focus your attention for the moment on what he's doing at the core. Because this is going to help you release some of your baggage about how and why. And my goal right now is to help you stop being triggered so that you can be a sane person yourself when you look at him and think about him. Because honestly, when we get triggered by somebody, we're no better than them in that moment. So, you can't really excuse yourself if you let yourself stay in that state of anger because of what someone else did. So coming back to our president, one of the reasons why he did do his campaign, Make America Great, is because that's a very simple, get-to-the-point expression about a result he wants to accomplish. Fine. I would expect a red to do something like that. I would also expect a red to cut the crap, and what he sees as crap is a lot of things that the media wants to say about him. So I'm not saying this is right or wrong or good or bad. I'm just saying that he's trying to separate. You have to understand, he's trying to separate what's substantive for him as a leader and what is not. And I know that he does a lot of distracting comments about people's looks and stuff like that, and I'll get to that later. But really what he's trying to do is he's trying to block and shield. Even with comments like that, he's trying to block and shield himself from being pulled off course from what he's trying to focus on, so that people will follow him within that focus. I would expect a natural leader to try to defend people's livelihoods and their jobs. Now, a lot of people question his sincerity. Well, is he really going to be able to do the things that he says he's going to do? Is he really going to save companies in Wisconsin? Is he really going to bring companies back to the United States that have left? Is he going to really focus on America in a positive way, or is he just going to do a bunch of stuff that hurt America? So regardless of your opinion about his effectiveness, or regardless of your opinion about how he's doing it, I think it's true many times that whether he's in his ego traps or not, that he is actually going in a direction of trying to take us to a better place. And people are not seeing that maybe they don't like the things he says and does, but the trajectory is get things into the physical world that support people's physical life. And you really can't criticize somebody for talking the talk of their spiritual gift. The talk of that spiritual gift of the root chakra is to get people out of an emergency. So I think it's really unfair that, and people don't know this about him, they don't realize. Something happened to my video. What I was saying is I think it's really unfair that people take away from Trump his right to decide that he wants to do something for someone and he wants to save their job. Because if I had a red in my family, or if I had a red friend, which I do actually, those would be the people I would go to when I was in a crisis. And for a lot of people, it's very real. They have a memory of people in their family that have lost jobs over the past 10, 20, 30 years, ever since the 80s, maybe since the 70s. You know, those people aren't dead yet, all of them. So, you know, we don't give people who live in the country enough credit for remembering who took their piece of the pie away, you know. And I think anyone who grew up in a high school in the United States knew that there was popular people and unpopular people. And it's the unpopular people who were more humble and, you know, maybe had, in many cases, jobs with lower social status, or parents with jobs with lower social status. Those are the people that have suffered from the popular people, if you will, having really nice corporate jobs and shipping the unpopular people's jobs overseas. So to me, it's a reaction of the marginalized against the mainstream, and now the mainstream is angry. So Donald Trump is part of the mainstream. He's a successful businessman, which you would expect from a red person. You know, red people want to build things in the physical world. They want to keep people safe, and they want to lead a certain group. So the group that Trump has decided he wants to lead is Americans, and maybe even specifically white Americans. You know, I mean, I'm not saying he's not racist. I'm not saying he's never in his traps. I'll discuss that in the next video, how he's in his traps. But what I am saying is that he's focused on how to get something done within a system that doesn't want you to get things actually done, that's dominated by special interests. And in order for someone of the root chakra to do that, They usually are going to be rough in their manner and in their approach. They're going to say things that piss people off because they're not about communication, they're about results. So the things they say are trying to get results. And the way that he shoots from the hip all the time, that's because he's reacting from his root chakra. So I hope that you've learned a little bit more about the root chakra today and also how it gets expressed regardless of our judgment of it. And we'll continue this next time. Have a great day.